Where do we find my homeschool mentor?
Well, I have a very simple website that is still being built. It's called myhomeschoolmentor.life. All of my
Okay.
all of my stuff is .life because it's all under this stained glass life.
Okay.
You can sign up to be a part of the weekly virtual planning lab. Um, just go there and then click on planning lab. It'll take you to a job form and you can sign up. There's also a video playlist of some of the trainings that I've done. I think it's on Vimeo. It should be on click it and then it'll take you to the playlist. And then you can also just email me. You can email me at Nicole C. Thorne. Well, actually, that email is going away because it's so busy. You can also email me at tsglife1. So that's this stained glass life1 at gmail.com. So tsglife1 at gmail.com.
And all the links will be available in the description. Before I let you go, Nicole, three things you want families to take away from this. If you don't hear anything else, hear these three things.
Oh, okay. Three things. Okay, so number one, you can pull your child out of home, out of any school, out of whatever school, out of public school, private school. You can do it. You can homeschool. Okay, you can homeschool. That's number one. Don't be. I'm so proud of people when they're like, I finally just pulled my kid out. The bullying was too much, or the incompetence of the staff was too much, or and that's I don't mean that across the board. I know there are great teachers and great administrators out there. But like for whatever reason, if you need to pull your kid out, do it. You can do it. Let me tell you, I have a friend who works in a school system, and she was frustrated, and she was like, I just want to go to the calendar and count how many days we test our kids. And
Mm.
she came up with, do you want to take a guess how many days are testing days?
Um, Out of the 200, I'm gonna say 70.
Okay, so it's 180 school days
Mm-hmm.
and it's 42 test days.
Mm.
So 70 is higher than I thought you would say. More, I thought like 10 or 12,
Oh
like
yeah, no.
2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, 21 days. 3 weeks, that's 15 days. That's 3 weeks of testing, right? That's
Yes, ma'am.
21 days. No, double that.
Yes.
Double that. That's how many days they test. Why am I saying this? Because I want you to know if your child misses 42 days of school, they will still be okay.
Right.
Now, I'm not advocating that you miss 42 days and and there is some value to test taking, like learning the skill of taking tests, right? Because like I started testing every year so that my kids would learn the skill of taking tests. My oldest daughter, she didn't really take a lot of standardized tests. And when she got to taking a driver's test, she had to take it 3 times. When she got to taking the SAT, she was like, "What is it?" Like so the skill of taking tests is important in life, right? You have to take tests at jobs and all kinds of things. But 42 days to me is a that's a grace period for
Out of
sure.
180, that's a lot.
That's a lot. So I say that so like moms who are like taking their kids out of school and they're like, I don't know what to do and I need to start something right now because I don't want my kid to fall behind. I'm saying your kid will not fall behind if they miss a week of classes and go to the museum every day. Like it's okay. If you take 3 weeks to de-school, and that's a whole other conversation. If you take 3 weeks to just get out of the mindset, or a month, or some people take a whole school year to de-school,
Mhm.
and get out of the mindset of the institutional style learning and take your child to a library, take him to a field, go nature hunting, go to a museum, go to a park, and like those things are still learning, and you are not behind. If you did that for 40 days in a row, you would still not be behind. So I just want to encourage parents, like, take the time to, it's okay, pull your kid out. They don't have to be in some rigorous curriculum tomorrow. It's totally okay. I promise they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Not just fine, but better off. So that's my
Right.
one thing. I'm proud of you for doing it. You can do it, right? You can. Number two, community, right? I do not believe that anyone should homeschool in isolation. Homeschooling is
Mm-hmm.
not about isolating your children, it's about insulating them. And so I would say find community no matter how hard it is, no matter how long it takes. Find community. And when I say find community, I don't really mean just go to a co op or go to a community, a homeschool community group or whatever. I mean find a friend or two inside of those communities that when your child is not learning from you, they're not receiving from you, you have an option, right? So what happens is sometimes kids are, they don't like we're their cheerleaders. From birth, we're like, yes, that's great. You're doing a great job. Then we get to middle school and high school where we've got to edit their papers. And they're like, oh, you said I did something wrong. You said it's not good. Like, oh, you insulted me. Like, it hits them differently because coming from the cheerleader of their life, it's hard to hear critique. So sometimes you have to first, one thing you have to do is verbalize the transition. Hey, I'm not acting like your mom right now. I'm acting like an editor for this paper. Okay. That helps prepare them to receive the criticism. But the other thing you might need to do is say, I'm not going to edit this paper. I'm going to give this paper to my girl Jamie, and I'm going to take her paper, and we're going to exchange our kids' papers. And I'm going to edit her daughter's paper, and she's going to edit your paper. That's the kind of community I'm talking about, right? Because if you don't have that, then you go, my kid won't learn from me. I got to put him in school. They're not going to
Mm.
learn from you whether you put them in school or don't put them in school in that season because that's just what they're doing. So you just find another trusted adult in your life where you guys can be community. My best friend when I first moved to Georgia, we would be on the phone all the time and on the Facebook, and I would be like, okay, you take Facebook on the Facebook. I said, old lady on FaceTime on the Facebook, y'all. I just showed my age. We would be on FaceTime and I would have my kids take our iPad into a room, and then I would get on my phone and I would be with her daughter. And she would check in with them about all the stuff they did for the week. And I would check in with her daughter about all the stuff she did for the week. And that was just enough accountability for her to be like, I want to get my work done so that when I talk to Miss Nicole, I can tell her all the wonderful things
Oh,
I got
I
to do.
love
Right.
that. Yeah.
It was just enough. And that wasn't, we didn't even get together personally. We just did it virtually for a semester, and it was enough, to kind of give her somebody else besides mom to be accountable to.
Mm-hmm.
So community, community, community. That would be my number two. Um, Number three is have a. I would say um, one way to look at this will be a mission and a vision statement, right? I would say, what is your goal? Like, know your goal. Like, I'm raising kingdom kids. I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. I'm raising kingdom kids. I want my kids to be able to think. I want them to be able to reason well, and I want them to be able to defend their faith. I want them to be able to love people no matter who they are and still hold to their values. I want them to be friends with one another, and I want them to be friends of God and in the world, but not of the world. Those are the things that I want for my kids, along with a bunch of other things. And so I would say have a mission, have a vision, and have it articulated, have it in front of you. Remind yourself of it so that in those moments when you're really ready to give up, you know you have a strong enough why to keep you going. And I would say, don't just be running from something, be running towards something, right? So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times we're like, I left the school system because of that math teacher, or because of that bully, or because of the IEP process, or there's all kinds of reasons we leave school, right? But don't let your why be a negative thing. Let your why be, what are you running toward? I want my children to be well versed. I want them to read well, learn well, think well, love the Lord, do this, do that, like all the things that you want them to do. Let that drive you and not the things you're running from. Because sometimes the things that you're trying to get away from, they become smaller than the problem that you're having in your home. And then you want to go back to it's just like the children of Egypt. Like they want to go back to slavery because now they're hungry. What? No, I don't think so. You forgot. You forgot some things. So now we got to put the promised land in front of you, right? We got to help you know that this is what you're going toward so that you don't allow the problems to be bigger than the what you came from and then you think you're going to go back. Nope, we're going to keep going forward because there's a bigger goal in front of us. So that would be my three things. One, let's see if I can remember them. uh, One is you can homeschool. Two is community, and three is have a mindset, a kingdom mindset.
Yes,
What's
ma'am.
the big goal in front of you, and then write it down, articulate it often, and run toward it.
Yes, girl. Whole message. Message. Yes. Thank you for that, Nicole. That was amazing. Parents. It's not something you have to do alone. It's not something you have to do alone. I will continuously remind you of that. Build your community, seek your support. The support is there. There are so many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful individuals that want to help, that have gone through the challenges, know the solution to the challenges, and want to offer you that grace, that saving space where you don't have to go through those same things. Like, so reach out for the support. If you need an accountability partner, I'm 40. I just realized when I was about 35, 36, how much discipline I lacked. Okay. And it's been a
Mm,
journey ever since.
that's
So
real.
yes, understand that accountability helps. Accountability and empathy are two things I feel is like, fading out because it's not talked about as much as it should be, I guess.
Mm.
But accountability is everything. It really is. Because it
And
starts with
can
you.
And can I just add that accountability sometimes has a negative connotation? I like to use the word ally. I'm allying with you. I'm partnering with you because I don't want you to think, oh, you just got to check in with me. I'm holding you accountable to this, and if you don't do it, you're supposed to feel bad. Nope, I'm walking with you through it. I'm an ally of yours
Yes.
as we walk through this thing together because I need the accountability just as much as you.
What? Say it. Yes, ma'am. But the support is there. Make sure you check out My Homeschool Mentor. Sounds like a wonderful resource and a beautiful community that you don't have to be by yourself. This is not something to do alone. So please seek your community, seek the support that you need, and homeschool your kids.
Yes, Lord.